to watch you, grow up as a boy, doing the things I wanted to do, wearing the things I wanted to, being what I wanted to be. You have no idea how much I've envied you and how lucky you are. So I will not have you tell me this is silly or insane. Otherwise, all the pain and anguish I've had growing up as a girl has been completely for nothing. Sitting in the back of the car, I look at Phoebe, who's in the front passenger seat. I can't see her full expression, but from what I can tell, she looks focused and ready. I stare a little longer at Phoebe's, and I no longer see her in the same light as I did even a few hours ago. My little sister has always been a bit of a goofball, and quirky in her own way. I don't see her anymore as that kind and light-hearted little girl that used to follow me around everywhere. I look away and out the window in deep thought. She now reminds me of Mom. That's when I turn my attention to my mother, sitting directly in front of me. Since giving me my very own sword and stuffing us both into the car, she's barely said a word to me. She asked what gym we need to go to and told me to get into the back seat, and that's about it. There's a lot I could say about my mom since all of this has happened, but I have to admit, I've never seen her so quiet. She claims she's some sort of warrior. I personally think she's scared and won't admit it. That's when I think about the thing hanging around her neck. My body shivers at the thought. How could something so seemingly innocent have such an effect on me? To the point, I'm not even sure why they are asking me along. Phoebe's had some training, so I suppose she'll be useful. But me? Surely I'm a liability. I look down at my thick feminine thighs bound in dark red tights, then at the sword sitting beside me. I don't know who I am anymore. Am I human? Am I a boy or girl? Am I a cat? Just as I start looking at the small hands I now know as mine, Mom speaks and breaks the silence. "Girls," she says, clearly nervous from the tone of her voice. "We've got one mission here. We find this Ivy girl and take back what is ours." I look at Phoebe and she just nods in agreement without saying anything more. "Once we have the remaining pills from the pink packet, we need to make our escape as soon as possible," Mom continues, getting less confident as she speaks. "We only engage if the situation calls for it." I look again at the sword I've been given and feel useless. Mom then leans over to Phoebe while still driving the car and begins to whisper. I lean forward to hear what she's saying, but with the road noise, I can't make it out. Phoebe instantly looks back at me, and her expression is one of dread. She stares at me, and it makes me slump back in my seat and look away. "I understand," Phoebe answers Mom, looking ahead once more. I grit my teeth. Why am I being treated like such a pariah? I want to say something, but I'm self-conscious since Phoebe suggested all I do is moan. I don't want to upset her again, but honestly, I feel like the black sheep of the family, and I'm not sure as to why. "Let's review our enemy," Mom says, pulling me out of my head and my inner turmoil. "Green?" Phoebe asks. "Yes," Mom replies. "I think it's important. It might give us a brief window for victory if we have to engage it in battle." My heart rate increases, and I feel it throbbing in my chest as the tight armor holds my breasts tight. She keeps talking about battle like this is a normal thing for me and Phoebe. I'm not even in my 20s yet. I'm just a kid. "The orb is the source of all Green's abilities," Mom explains, her voice now calm and confident. "Its known abilities are as follows: shape-shifting, matter manipulation, sensory disorientation, and worst of all, its unrelenting desire to absorb souls." "I have a question about that last one," Phoebe pipes up. "When you say it steals souls, what happens to them?" Mom's prolonged silence to the question indicates to me that she doesn't want to tell us. "I'm not sure," she ultimately answers. "I'm not a scientist. All I know is that the orb itself is powered by the souls it absorbs. I never wanted to ask. Being the commander of the Royal Army, it wasn't my place to question those above me." Feeling like that's not the whole truth yet again, I open my mouth to speak. That's not the entire truth, is it? Phoebe rebukes, taking the words right out of my mouth. Mom, I want to trust you. Please tell us all you know so we can support you. Surprised at how forward Phoebes is being, I'm a little gobsmacked by her newfound confidence. Fine, Mom replies, clearly riled up by Phoebe. I promise this is all I know about it. The orb outputs crazy amounts of energy, but to produce that energy, it needs a source of souls. Mom gives Phoebe a quick glance, then locks her eyes with me through the rearview mirror. Do you remember what I said about how me transforming you has protected you? My gender transformation is a sore subject. You said something like that? I say, annoyed that she's going to try and justify herself once again. Once touched or transformed by any part of its power, be it directly or by a formador, Mom continues, clear and confident as she speaks, you are protected from its soul-stealing abilities. I raise an eyebrow and have several questions, but before I can ask, Phoebe is already on it. So, me having my gender altered means I'm protected? Phoebe questions, giving Mom a hopeful smile. Yes, Mom instantly replies, like she's desperate for us to believe her. That's why I've done what I've done to you both. I told you I'd protect you from it, and I have. Couldn't you have just changed our hair color or something? I ask sarcastically. There's silence for a moment, and I can see Phoebe looking at Mom intently, like she's extremely curious. No, Mom nervously answers. I can't. I roll my eyes. She's going to lie to us again. Can't what? I ask with a long sigh. Not expecting that to hit so hard, I hear Mom start to sob. I can't go through it again, Aiden, Mom answers, obviously upset. I'm not strong enough to watch that thing destroy the people I care about for a second time. I needed to be sure it couldn't happen again. That meant I had to transform you both in every detail. That meant changing your genders, too. Not moved by her emotional words, I look out the window. Could have at least told us about this and given us the choice, I mutter, feeling like she's giving us excuses. What's a formador? Phoebe asks before Mom can respond to me. It's a grimalkin, born graced by the powers of the orb, Mom replies quickly with a sniff. A very special individual, but unfortunately, not many of them are around anymore. Graced by the orb? Phoebe rightly questions. What happened to them? We're getting off track here, girls, Mom replies. We shouldn't focus on that. We should focus on green. I put my hands on the back of Mom's car seat and bring myself closer. After everything you've done, I say, thinking about what's currently residing between my legs, you could at least answer our questions. Mom lets out a frustrated huff. They've all been hunted down for their powers. See, most of our kind got trapped on this planet as household cats. So, if you found a formador, you could get them to transform you into a human. Right, Phoebe says, looking back at me with a look that says she thinks Mom is crazy. They can only do transformations 9 times before their life force is depleted. Mom continues. Once that happens, they die. Mom pauses for a moment and seems troubled. Look, you two, when I first got here, I was charged with rounding a lot of them up. So, when I lie and avoid the subject, it's because the truth is too painful to bear. So many died because of the things I did. You killed them? Phoebe asks bluntly. No. Mom swiftly answers to shut her down. I just rounded them up. I thought I was helping our kind resettle here. I wasn't told they were being forced to use their powers. Phoebe looks back at me again, and her distrusting expression is gone. She just looks at me with worry. I have to admit, that emotion in her mother's voice doesn't sound like she's lying. Mom lets out another long breath as I slouch back into my seat. I've made so many mistakes. I thought I was helping. I thought I was doing the right thing. I promise you both, transforming you was an extremely hard decision, but it was for the best. Now please, Let's focus back on green. Forcing us to be something we're not, I hiss, allowing myself to get hot and bothered. Then, remembering what Phoebe said to me earlier, I calm my inner rage and take a long breath. You'll share more with us later, right? I ask, assuming she must know a way for me to transform back into a guy. I promise, she replies, smiling at me in the rear view. I will tell you everything you want to know about our people and my past. About to reply, Mom steers the car out of the way. Several police cars blaze past us at speed with their sirens howling. You don't think, Phoebe says, pointing at them, they are heading in the same direction as us, do you? I hope not, Mom answers, speeding up the car. We need to hurry. As our car roars into life, Mom's driving becomes race car-like. I had to hold on to my seat as she had us almost sliding around corners. If I wasn't so deeply angry with her, I'd almost think this was pretty cool. After a few more turns and near misses, we arrive close to the gym. The area is weirdly quiet, with several emergency vehicles apparently abandoned on the road. Mom pulls up the car, and for a few moments, we all gaze out the window at the eerie silence. The police are already here, Phoebe points out. Mom pushes her door slightly open before looking back at us both. They're already dead, she says plainly. What? I shriek, reaching for my sword. And you want us to go in? Not bothering to acknowledge my fear, both Mom and Phoebe get out of the car. Watching them both adjust their armor and tighten their hair ties, I reluctantly do the same. Stepping out of the safety of the car, I stare at the police cars parked in the middle of the road and wonder where they all are. This entire block feels like something from a post-apocalyptic film. It's making my ass clench super tight with fear, although that could just be the underwear burrowing into my ass crack. Aiden, Mom says, comforting me with a hand on my shoulder. It's going to be okay. Please, just listen to what I tell you. Now, is there a back way in? About to answer, I see movement further up the road. I see a small girl wearing a leather jacket rushing to the entrance to the gym. I'm left confused as they vaguely look like that girl Ivy. I think I just saw her, I say, pointing in the direction of the girl who is now out of sight. You did? Mom asks, looking back. Okay, no time to waste. Is there a back entrance? I want to scope the place out. If Green is already here, we need to utilize the element of surprise. I point to the side alley between the gym building and the office next to it. We can gain access there. They've got a side entrance that they never lock. Great, Mom says, giving me a smile. Right. Be on your toes, swords to the ready, and follow me. Just like that, Mom darts between the abandoned emergency vehicles and police cars. I don't know how to use a sword, I yelp, following behind as Phoebe shoots past me. It's in our blood, Phoebe laughs with a smile as she passes me. Just swing it about, and you'll soon get it. Just swing it about? I moan under my breath, regrouping with them both in the alleyway. That's when things get serious, and look around at the carnage surrounding us. It causes a shiver to run down my spine as I take in that all the walls and doors are covered in the crimson red of blood. That ain't paint, I shriek in terror at the bloodshed. No, Mom answers plainly, approaching the side door. It's blood. I look at Phoebe, hoping she's still sane enough to know we shouldn't be here. She, however, just looks as serious as Mom. It's like she's got a death wish. As we approach the door, Mom halts and turns to face us. It's 100% green, she makes clear, pointing at the blood on the walls. This is exactly what I found at the factory all those years ago. My heart is racing. I want to run away. If it wasn't for Phoebe, I think I would have ages ago. Mom presses her ear up to the metal door of the gym and starts to listen in. After a few seconds, she gives us both a look of concern. He's here, she says, unable to hide her inner terror as her expression gives it away. Mom points at Phoebe. Phoebes, slowly open that door and gather more intel. I want to know how many people are inside. Phoebe nods, like she's reacting to an order from a superior. Fearing for my sister, I watch her gently open the door and peek in through the crack. I want to tell Mom off for putting my little sister in harm's way, but before I can, she places her hand on my shoulder once again. Aiden, she says with a forced smile, I need you to know something before we go in. What? I reply, shrugging off her hand. Green, or I should say, Professor Green. She's staring me directly in the eyes, yet seems to be tongue-tied. What's she trying to tell me? That thing in there was the love of my life, she struggles to say, as I watch her expression sour and her eyes water. Aiden, Green is your father. My heart sinks and my mouth falls open. What? My body starts to feel like it weighs a ton. This murderer she's been telling us about is my father? The thing that destroyed her home world is my father? Staring at her vacantly as my mind races, I want to ask so many questions. Mom! Phoebe squeals. I see Green. It's attacking someone. Swinging her head around, like my questions don't matter, Mom puts her eye to the door. Shit. Frozen to the spot, I don't really know what to say or how to act. Is that why that rock around Mom's neck strikes fear deep into my soul? If I go near that orb, will I become like Green? Lost to my own thought, I'm brought back from the brink when I see movement in the corner of my eye. Swiftly turning my head, I catch a glimpse of a black cat running away. Are we being watched? There's another girl, Phoebe says, whispering. They look like they're in trouble. We should do something. Mom stands and brings Phoebe with her as she does. All three of us stand in a circle, surrounded by the dripping blood on the walls. Right, Mom says with determination. Follow my lead, girls. Don't be swayed by anything you hear, and protect each other. Phoebe nods and unsheathes her sword. Don't let anything that thing says get to you, Mom repeats, looking at us both. And remember, the main aim is to save that Ivy girl and retrieve the pills before Green can. Looking at the determination on both their faces makes me feel a little more at ease. I reach for my sword and unsheath it. Holding it up, I feel stupid, but a little less scared for some reason. That's it, Mom says with a big grin. Remember, do as I tell you. The seconds that follow are like my life is being played in slow motion. Mom slowly pushes the door open, and all three of us step into the gym hall. My heart is beating like crazy. I quickly identify Ivy, but the other two in the room are a mystery. One of them is the girl I saw running here moments ago, wearing the leather jacket, and the other looks like a crazed waitress serial killer. Assessing the situation, we are all then blinded by an intense flash of light. It hits us like a solar flare, and it causes me to lose all concentration. Shaking it off, I see Mom step forward with her sword at the ready. Knowing how scared I am, part of me is glad she's here. When she says she's going to protect us, I don't doubt that for a moment. My mom is many things, but she's always been there for us in times of need. I look at Phoebe, and her words echo in my head. This has to be for something, I mutter, trying to push myself past my fears and anxieties for her. Phoebe turns to look at me and she smiles. Let's make this count, Aiden, she whispers back. We might not be real girls, but we are warriors. Phoebe, Aiden, Mom interrupts. Focus or these two girls are done for, and I won't let that happen on my watch. I hold my sword tight in my hand. It's time to start taking control. If Phoebe's been able to deal with this all her life, I can look past it for her sake. I'm with you, Mom, I shout confidently. I want to fight with you. So am I, Phoebe agrees. We're with you. Touched, Mom's aggressive stance softens as she looks back. Another intense flash bathes us in a furious light. Mom is unaffected and just grins at us both. with a look of love only a mother can give. "Thank you both," she says, gripping her sword tighter with renewed vigor. "Let's fix my mistakes together, as a family, starting with that thing." She steps forward again and stands strong and tall. Her confidence as a woman gives me power, and I feel myself standing taller. I don't forgive her for what she's done to me, but I still love her enough to stand with her. I know I should tell her that more when this is all over. I have been nothing but angry with her. "Phoebe," Mom says sternly, not taking her attention away from Green, "remember the plan." As Phoebe nods, Mom takes another step forward. "Green!" she screams out with a sturdy resolve. That thing in the blue dress stares in my direction, and its golden eyes strike fear deep into my soul. Is that thing really my father?